what is there to fear? I'm from Black America, it's just another year. You knew the disrespect by your elected puppeteers, but let me show you how to persevere. Cause get up every time somebody knock you down and celebrate.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy. Got IG up, YouTube up, Facebook up. Yeah, y'all see it over there in your, if I'm saying this right, your top right corner. Yeah, you see the Cash App. $, the Nitty Gritty Show. Donate. If you want to, you like what you see, you like the stream. Or as they say in some parts of the country, the scream. If you like the scream. If you like the stream, seriously, donate. We got the Cash App going. Yeah, business account, all that good stuff, right? Look, it's your boy Jay DaCosta.
It's your girl Katniss.
And together we are the Nitty Gritty, and we're back for another episode. America, are you bored? That's the question of the afternoon. A lot of stuff going on. At this point, I'm just like, is America bored? Y'all might be like, America might be bored. I don't know.
Bored with what?
I mean, crate challenges. The other challenge gonna get one of these young black kids killed. Keep on putting your parents on the little TikTok and they talking about they're trying to get a grant, faking the grant, and talking about, yeah, my mama was a prostitute. Yeah, they be saying some wild stuff on there. They gonna get beat up. I wish I would disrespect my parents that way. All these little internet jokes. Listen, parents from my generation, our parents' generation, they wasn't playing them games. Mike and Jen would never. Okay? They would have been like, hold up, stop the tape. Anyway, we'll talk about that some more. Shout out to DC Shy Pie. We'll be shouting them out to the end of the month. Shout out DC Shy Pie. If you haven't been, if you're in the DMV area, go check them out. Shout out Grant Thompson and family. They actually have thin crust pieces now on the menu. So it's not just all deep dish. They are expanding already. Fairly new. Well, not really new.
No,
the brick and mortar's new. But they started last year during the pandemic. I mean, putting out amazing pizza. Yeah, I guess it is new, right? Anything under 3 or 5 years for a business is considered new. So, shout out to them. So if you like it, once again, if you're in the area, go check them out. They got some great food, y'all. For real. I'm not just saying that because they family.
It's just crazy that his twin brother, is a chef, and he became a pastor, and then now it's like him and his family found something that tastes good, and now it's like he kind of has that chef in him, but from what I understand, they're all good cooks on that side.
Oh yeah. We got a lot of chefs over there. You got the Thompsons. You got shout out to Donald out there in LA, 8th Notch. Shout out to Cecily with One Bite. Keith be catering. Shout out to Billy Bakes Cakes. Shout out to Legacy Food Group. Yeah, that's all the Thompsons, man. They doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy to be related. And then shout out to another, I call him a distance family member now. Shout out to Paul Thompson with Church Road Barbecue.
Yes.
Right? So I'm thinking the Thompsons are all related. Shout out to Paul wherever you are tonight, sir. So let's get into some current news.
Okay.
Once again, before we get into that, gotta pay some bills. Y'all saw the Cash App up. Yo, donate. You know what I'm saying? Throw a little money in. You know, you see it. You know, support the screen. $, the Nitty Gritty Show. Gotta type the whole thing like a Tribe Called Quest. So, donate. So first, I'm just gonna address the elephant in the room. With the Timberlands on, the way she was running. Definitely wearing cleats. Sha'Carri Richardson. But we can talk about that some more too as we get into the show for real, but gotta bring that out there. Sha'Carri Richardson came in 9th place. She got smoked. That's the running joke. She got smoked. Mm-hmm. So, but shout out to Shelly Ann Fraser. Mm-hmm. That's a bad mamma.
But she wasn't first.
Oh, it was Elaine though, right?
Elaine Thompson-Herah, who is technically the fastest woman in the world. And she actually did beat FloJo's record for the Olympic record. She came very close this time to beating FloJo's best record. She still hasn't done it yet, but I think she will do it.
Yeah, I think before her time is up, she probably will. She's cold work.
She is incredible. She's also 29, and I think
throw up a bomb for her.
Elaine is 29. Sha'Carri is 21. So people are like, well, why are you mentioning their age? Well, I think a lot of times when you talk about athletics, I would say when you look at most greats, that late 20 is like their prime.
Yeah, late 20, possibly early 30s, depending on the sport.
That's like your prime.
Unless you're talking about like weightlifting, that can happen like in your 40s and 50s.
Yeah, but usually by that time you've mastered the skill.
Yeah.
You've trained your whole life.
For sure.
You've got the muscles behind you. You've fallen. You've been disappointed. You've figured out how to get back up. Sha'Carri has a career ahead of her, but I definitely think she needs to get a PR coach or a team so she knows how to answer questions appropriately. I think she needs to show better sportsmanship. For example, when she lost, not only was she like kind of cocky in her post interview, but she didn't even acknowledge Elaine and the Jamaicans who had won, who swept again, but she didn't even acknowledge her American teammates. Tiana came in fourth, and the two girls who were on the line with her, they both went to the Olympics and won medals. She didn't even acknowledge them because it was all about her.
Yeah, I mean, I want to get into that some more too. Let's run over some more current news as well. Obviously, we got drama in Afghanistan. People pay attention. Now, mark my words. I'm gonna say it here first. Yeah, Biden's definitely gonna pull out of it. He's saying they're cowards. They're not even worth the time. They're only interested in getting Americans out. They're very vague with the language, by the way. Whenever you get anything directly from the White House as far as what's going on with Afghanistan or Kabul, why did they invade? Our embassy, all that kind of stuff. But I'm pretty sure Republicans are getting in office here again soon. And when they do, best believe we'll be back in the Middle East if the price is right. And yes, I did say if the price is right. Right now, we don't care about oil, but they got gold. And maybe if they are willing to come up off some gold, we'll go back and intervene in their foreign affairs again. Trust me, we always do it for a price. Not a conspiracy theory. You can check the numbers. You know what I'm saying? A lot of companies made money. America be rapping like Jay-Z. Halliburton made millions. You know what I'm saying? Blackwater made millions. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody made millions when it comes to war. Trust me, war's a business. It's a business. And trust me, one of the chief things they're creating in these private prisons is war materials, uniforms, weapons, all of that. U.S. American made. And guess what? They're not paying top dollar for it. They're paying a few cents a day for an inmate. Just, hey, this kicking knowledge and kicking truth, Yeah, and I agree with you, Herman. This could be something that they use to cost Biden the election. Not to mention the fact that he has not proven on his promise to give us any kind of reparations, any kind of law around, brutality, policing. I mean, the Emmett Till Policing Act has been on the board. The George Floyd Policing Act is out there. None of them have passed. So, there's that. Oh, shout out to Mara in the building. Texas in the house. And I see you, my people. Shout out to Austin P. Tamara Samuels, she said, hello, love you guys. I agree on the Sha'Carri Richardson note. Talent is not enough. The attitude, persistence, professionalism, and media and grooming are paramount for her moving forward. Amen to that. Put a bomb for you and a bomb for Katrina, because you both said it and y'all absolutely right. Just saying. Herman said, yeah, Juan, the industrial military complex rolls mightily along, and that's true. We spend about 52% of the budget is spent on military spending. So if y'all think that this is not going to play out in 2022 and also in 2024, you better think again, because America makes money off of war. Also, a lot of you guys are going back to school, so shout out to all the back to school kids. I know back to school is going to be a little different. Some people are being forced back into the school. Some people are trying to find ways to bridge the digital divide. This is a big conversation I know going on with big companies, school systems around. People pay attention to that because you don't want your child being left behind. Understand how media works. Understand how technology works. You don't want your child being the one child that falls behind a whole school grade, because they will pass them along, especially in like those early school, but you don't want that affecting them going into high school and college. So parents, let's pay attention to this whole conversation. Let's make sure that we're taking advantage of the monies that are out there. There's a lot of grants. There's a lot of money flowing around through the U.S. Department of Education. And I'm just saying, hey, pay attention to these things, because you want to make sure your child gets the benefit. That's all I'll say on that. And then also, before we get back into Sha'Carri and all of that, gotta talk about all these challenges. These challenges are stupid. Have you seen the crate challenge, Katrina? I I've been seeing them.
I've seen it.
I mean, look, one of y'all, these crates gonna kill more people than COVID if y'all ain't careful. Some of them look dangerous. Some of y'all don't look fit enough to be doing these crate challenges. You might want to leave it alone.
I do think that weight has some bearing on it. Not always, but a little bit. Imbalance. If you just sitting there and you wobbling, that ain't. If you wobbling in the first crate, you might as well say, I can't do this.
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing them everywhere. They've been doing them right here in DC.
Most people who've been successful, aside from the one girl who took her good sweet time, typically are not wobbling. They're like literally like step, 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 and then step, step, step. They're on it and they're off. If you up there wobbling and such, I don't know.
Some of these folks wobbling like they got the Holy Ghost, and I just be like, look, you might want to shout on the ground, okay? Because shouting up there gonna get you killed. Herman said, get off the crate. Yeah, get off the crate because it ain't for you, people. It ain't for you. Get off the crate.
And they doing it on a regular ground. I'm like, you gonna hurt something.
Yeah, I'm telling you, all up in the street and everything. I mean, they'll do the crate challenge, but they won't get the COVID shot. I'm gonna leave that where it is. So look, back to Sha'Carri Richardson, because you're making some good points about the media training.
Oh, hey, Tay.
Tay, what's up? I think it's a good point, and I want you to elaborate some more on that. Tamara made a really good mention of it. But I don't think people realize that when you become a public athlete, especially once you start making millions of dollars from sponsorship, whether it's Nike, Reebok, Adidas, Gatorade, Energizer, whoever the company starts sponsoring you, you now become the face of their product. That's what they're paying you to be, right? And so all these people are like, y'all keep on coming for Sha'Carri. Y'all act like y'all had her back. First of all, some of us was on the sidelines the whole time. Like, she got to prove herself against those Jamaicans in the first place. I was giving her the same energy that a lot of y'all gave LeBron. I gave him that same energy when he first came in. I'm like, man, he getting a whole lot of money for somebody who ain't bounced one ball in the NBA yet. Now he ended up proving himself cool, and when they prove themselves, it works out. But then in this case, Sha'Carri, while she's had some amazing runs and broken some records and all that, she hasn't raced yet in the Olympics on the platforms that matter. And when given the chance to race internationally, because that's when racing really matters in that sport, right? She's proven that to be faster than Jamaicans. Matter of fact, the sad part, like you said earlier, she didn't even beat the U.S. folks that went. She came in dead last, y'all, and then pulled out of the 200 because she already knew it was coming for that behind. And yeah, the interview was sloppy. It needed some work. And people are like, oh, but she's just a kid. But you know what? She's a kid with an amazing gift, and she wants to move forward with it. She says she's here, so act like you here and get the media and training you need to present yourself as a stellar athlete, if that's what you're claiming to be.
Well,
fair enough.
I think that part of the issue is I don't know what she was doing from the time that they said, you're not going to the Olympics because you were tested positive for weed, which was, I think, 9 weeks ago. I don't know what she was doing 9 weeks ago up until now. And the way that she performed, it seemed like she wasn't training. Her muscle definition didn't look like it was there. Her skill didn't look like it was there. That was probably the lowest time I have seen her run since I've been following her. You kept saying you were that girl. And then when she had the post interview, she was like, y'all can't take away that I'm the 6th fastest woman in this sport. That has no bearing on the fact that you came in dead last place just now.
Yeah,
that's almost like LeBron saying, but I got 4 rings and never get another one. People are like, okay, but you did okay. Those were last year and the year before that. Now what are you gonna do this year? The reality is, when you are an athlete, we're always looking for you to top what you've done before.
Yeah.
Or to go out on top. And to your point, if you haven't gotten an Olympic gold medal, or any medal for that matter, you don't have no right to be bragging about nothing, because in track and field, it don't matter how well you perform, what your times are. In track and field, the pinnacle of it is medals. Period, point and blank. Now, Usain Bolt can be cocky because he's gone to the Olympics 3 times. He's in a 3-peat and has won gold medals every single time and set world records. So he has a right to be cocky. Elaine Thompson-Herah can be cocky. She broke the Olympic gold medal record, surpassing Flojo. She's close to breaking Flojo's best record, and she is the reigning champion of having both the gold in the 100 and the 200. And the Jamaicans can be cocky in general, because they swept in the Olympics and they swept again last time. Or was it Saturday? Or was it yesterday? Yesterday.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have the right to be cocky. You can't be cocky and lose.
Yeah, I mean, even Simone Biles is in a different position because she does have some Olympic gold under her belt. Like, it makes a big difference when you have some success. Yeah, and Herman says it really well. We FM, as we say it in sales. But what have you done for me lately, Sha'Carri? You know what I'm saying?
She's just young. I think that she was probably embarrassed.
I think so.
And because she kept doing a nervous laugh, like that nervous laugh, I think she was embarrassed. And I think what it shows you was that you need to get a PR team. When someone asks you to do a post interview and you know that you have high emotions, it's okay to say, I'm not at a state right now where I can do this interview. I'll be back later. Or keep it very simple. Congratulations to those who won. I came out here and tried to do my best, and I didn't meet my expectations. Only thing I could do is hope for the best going forward, period. And then go to the locker room. You don't have to give a long drawn-out speech. Just congratulate the people who won and say and acknowledge that you didn't do your best and keep it moving.
And sometimes you have to sound like a broken record. They keep on asking more questions. So how do you feel about coming to ninth place? Hey, you know what? I came out here. It's time to get back to running again.
Yeah.
And that's it. They ask you another question. Hey, so how do you feel about the winners of Jamaica? Oh man, hey, they did great. Shout out to them. They came out here to work. I'm going to go back to work and see what we can do next time.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this? Hey, gotta get back in the gym, work at it, better luck next time. And after a while, they'll be like, all right, she's not going to say nothing else. Her media team got her prepped. They'll keep it moving. You've seen all the greats, whether it's in acting, music, athletics, whatever. When they're media trained, and you learn this in school. I took some of these classes back in college, being in the mass comm department. You learn some of that. You just learn how to be a breaker record. Hey, you stick to the script. Companies, when stuff happens, they give out a script and they tell you this is what you stick to. This is what you say. You do not deviate. You do not elaborate. You do not start remixing your flow. You stick to the script. And I think with one thing with Sha'Carri, and this is evidently true, the team around her sucks. She may need to investigate firing them and getting a whole new one, or listen to the no man in the group. If everybody's a yes man, yeah, girl, go ahead and smoke that weed. Shoot, you stressed out right now. Yeah, girl, you don't got to train. You Sha'Carri. Look at you, girl. Yeah, all them yes men gonna get you in trouble. Get that no person around. Get somebody saying, no, you don't need to smoke that. You don't need to be smoking, period. You're a runner. You need somebody to say, girl, I know you're going through tough, but either you're going to run or you're going to take a real break, and you're going to take a real break. You need a no man in your corner.
What I appreciate was that the media was trying to create... First of all, I want to say something, too. One thing I don't like is that, yes, Sha'Carri was having a bad moment, but I don't think that gives us license to kick her while she's down. I don't agree with that as a black woman. We should be trying to impart some grace towards her. One, because she did lose her mother. Two, she did lose her Olympic opportunity. And three, most of all, she's young. So of course she's young. She's going to be inexperienced and do things that are obviously not to the level or...
Well, she lost her Olympic opportunity due to her own actions.
That's true, but what I'm saying is I don't think it's appropriate for us, especially the black community, to kick her while she's down. And the reason why I say that is because the media is trying to make it a war against Jamaicans versus American black women, and at the end of the day, black women are black women. It don't matter if they whip flags in front of them, they're all black women and they're all killing it in track and field. Number two, when they asked the Jamaicans about Sha'Carri, they said, I was focused on my race. They didn't even worry about her. So if anything, Sha'Carri should go back and watch the tape and see how they answered versus how she answered, to see they didn't give a long drawn out answer. They just said, I was focused on performing at my best. But I'm not here to kick Sha'Carri while she's down. I just wish that she would exude more humility and start being smart about her answers with the media, because the media loves drama.
And they'll take a piece of what you said and make a whole headline. We see it all the time. We've seen people darn near almost get canceled over just the media taking a blurb of a whole blurb and turning it into something. So yeah, that's why you have to have that media training.
And I know we're gonna move on. I want some of y'all who are not track and field fans to do more research before you start hyping up somebody. Because part of the hype that she's experiencing, and maybe the greatest reason why she probably is embarrassed, is because too many Americans was hyping her and didn't have no proven evidence. I mean, get in touch. Remember when people was hyping her up and I was like, she ain't gonna beat Shelly Ann Frazier? I already knew what it was.
You said it right here on this show. You called. You was one of the first people to call it.
I was like, Are people not like in tune with times and who's been doing this for years?
And you know what? Nate made a good point. She said she did later apologize about her first interview, but the media didn't post that one. But of course not. Because whatever's more salacious and whatever will sell more headlines is what's going to be at the forefront. And this is why media training is so pertinent, because it helps you get the message right the first time. So that way, the second time, which most people won't hear, the third apology they won't hear, right? You'll do 1,000 press runs, and all they're going to focus on is the one thing that is salacious about you.
But she didn't even, at the end of the run, like, all the girls walked up to the Jamaicans and gave them daps like, yo, like, they were like looking at her time, like giving her daps like, you incredible, to Elaine, Sharika, and to Shelly-Ann. Homegirl walked off.
Well, once again,
she didn't even shake hands.
Media training would tell you, do what you have to do publicly. Kiss those babies and shake those hands, right? You can get home and beat a pillow up all day long. But out in front of the public, there's a line you have to walk. And I'll say this, and I'm going to move on to the next subject. This goes in all areas of life, right? If you're an executive for a company, if you have reached some type of success, shoot, you can be a foreman at a blue-collar profession. There's a certain lifestyle that you have to now keep up and maintain because of that position you have in life. If you want people to take you seriously, there's a certain things you can't do. You could be a club owner, but you can't get involved with a certain kind of riffraff because I help you lose your liquor license. You'll mess around and get your club shot down just because you're hanging with the wrong group or you're conducting yourself in a way that could be used against you. And too often we try to pat people on the back for a misjudgment that can cost them so much more. And this is why it's so important to practice discipline in your daily life. This ain't just for high-end athletes, right? And international stars. This goes to the postman, the pastor, right? The guy working in the factory, the person in consulting, whatever you are in life. Once you reach a certain kind of level, there's a way you have to conduct yourself to keep yourself out of trouble, and to maintain that path that you want to stay on. Because if you don't, there's repercussions for your actions.
And shout out to Tiana. I can't think of her last name. She came in fourth, and she was American. Mm-hmm. She's never talked about, and Tiana has been consistent in her performances. Did great at the Olympics as well. Mm-hmm. I can't think of your last name, but shout out to you. You were, I mean, all the Jamaicans 1, 2, and 3, but she was right there at fourth. So.
Yeah. So keep on working. Hey, she might be number one. You never know. Something else we want to bring out, because today we're just talking about a lot of different things. There was so many different things we want to talk about. Some of it wasn't really worth a whole show, but you got to bring it up. Mental health can be a whole show in itself, but I got to bring this up with mental health. And I'll ask this question. Katrina, you can answer first. Is mental health becoming a convenient excuse for mediocrity or flat out laziness?
Yes. I think that there are people who genuinely deal with mental health issues and they sweep it under the rug and they have not gotten the professional help or expertise to diagnose it or help them cope with whatever trauma they're dealing with. And then I do think that there are those who are using mental health as a crutch to not perform, to not be held accountable because they are lazy. And I think that in this day and age, it's dangerous because there are people who really are dealing with certain things. And then you have those who are going to ride on the coattail of the buzzword, knowing that there are going to be no repercussions because, companies don't want that heat right now. You know what I'm saying? So you can say, I just need a whole week off. And they might be pissed, but they can't really do anything because that's grounds for being sued.
Like, I've been hearing stories of friends that I have that manage in various capacities, especially in the white collar space. And, they say they're dealing with young people all the time that take advantage of this. I had a friend of mine, she told me about a story of a young man. He was supposed to do something for work. And the young man told her that, I overslept. I was like, that was a crazy story to me. Because I was like, wow, and I hear this all the time. I hear about young ladies that don't, show up to work. And, they work for the federal government and they know nothing that's going to happen to them. I hear a lot of crazy stories coming in from just people in the area. I won't say their names or the companies they work for. But it's just interesting to me that people have the audacity to do it. And me, especially coming out of a middle class environment, I could never imagine being in an environment where I have the opportunity to make like almost six figures or just over six figures, and then just being like, yeah, man, I'm just not here today, checking out. You know, I mean, I think there's a certain level of privilege that comes with that. And the sad part is when you hear these stories, most people probably assume, oh, maybe they was white and they've always had it good. Nah, like in some of these stories I'm hearing, these people or these offenders are black, right? And, you know, for those, especially like the older generation, they know how hard they work to get to where they are. And now this next generation has exposure to get into these fields that some of us only dream of. And it's like, I know there's some people watching like, man, if I had the opportunity to make six figures, ain't no way. I'm showing up to every job. There's some people working faithfully for $14 an hour.
Or here's my thing. If you're going to have the mental health day, take it, do what you need to do to get better, and then when you come back, kill it. Don't take it and then come back and, you know, still do the same, because at the end of the day, everybody's having mental health issues. Everybody is struggling. We are still in a pandemic. We are all working really hard, and it's not fair that somebody gets to bear the burden of consistently overperforming amongst all that they have going on, and you get to say that you don't have it in you to show up, to be a part of the team. There are people who are dealing with death. There are people who are dealing with depression. There are people who are dealing with some serious financial issues. There are people who are being threatened unbeknownst to us. And for you to just have the privilege to say, well, you know, I can't support the team, that's not fair to the rest of the team.
Yeah, I think, and then, you know, it's one of those things, mental health should not be an excuse to fail or an excuse not even to try. Prime example, I'll be a little transparent. I've been diagnosed with depression and PTSD, right? And in that, for me, it was never a way to say, oh, well, I guess I'll just stop trying at life. I'll just won't get up one morning. For me, it's a reference point to say, okay, here's a thing that's present in your life. What are you going to do to work past it, right? What things will you employ around you to work with it? You know, what conversations do you need to have with a boss or with a significant other or with family members to help you get through this thing, or how to live healthier with this thing around you? Who do you need to talk to create balance? It's not to say, oh, well, you know, I'm depressed, man, so, you know, I ain't gonna wash my butt for the next 2 weeks. And we understand that happens, but the point of seeking therapy and getting help is to bring yourself to a healthy place of living with said thing. It's not to make the excuse to say, I just want to move on. The reason why we're talking about mental health, let's keep it real, is because we're trying to find ways to balance our lives with this thing hanging over us. It's not an excuse to give up, to not move forward. So I think me personally, being someone who actually has mental health diagnosis and actually has to work with it, I get extremely upset when I see people take it as a way to be lazy and to be mediocre, because once again, the diagnosis isn't there to make you handicapped. Right. The diagnosis is there for you to know where you are as a place of reference to work past it or to work with it, to move forward, to be stronger than you were yesterday. It's no different than going to the doctor for anything else. You find out you got high cholesterol. So that don't mean, well, I'm just going to keep on eating pork and I guess I'll just die as soon as I can. No, it's saying, all right, well, maybe if I incorporate some exercise, maybe if I stop eating so much sodium or sugar, right? Maybe if I go see a specialist to incorporate the proper macros into my diet, I don't have to die in 6 months like the doctor is saying. Maybe I can extend my life, right? But too often with mental health, we don't look at it as a medical prognosis. We try to treat it like this other thing. And it's no different than the rest of the medical community. You receive information about your body or about your mindset, and then you start looking at ways to treat said thing. And that's how you're supposed to deal with it. It's there for you to go to your boss and say, hey, look, I have this going on. I may struggle in my work. What can we do for me to be successful? What other position do I have to move to so I don't have to lose my job? Not how can I sit on my butt, sleep till 12 o'clock in the afternoon and not do my darn work. That's not how it works. And if I sound like the mean guy in the room, I'll be that. But the thing you have to contend with is I'm diagnosed with it and I'm speaking out on against it. So, I mean good luck. Good luck in the comments.
It's definitely a thing. I also think that people from a place of privilege, when they are suffering from mental health, and I don't want to make it seem like it's a race thing, but I think that there's something to be said when you have the freedom to move about in the world knowing that you're going to always get the benefit of the doubt versus someone who has to consider how they look, how they speak, how their skin is going to be interpreted on top of probably dealing with traumatic experiences. That in itself creates anxiety, and rarely do we ever get the privilege or the opportunity to really unpack that. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get that when you're black. So I just wanted to just put that out there.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's some things to consider, and this is why we have these conversations on the Nitty Gritty Show. It's not necessarily to always have to take a side, but it's to create the conversation so we can be cognizant of the things we're saying and doing, and to put some purpose behind our words as we, navigate through life. Just consider the conversation and be aware. Also, really jumping to a whole different conversation here, but I want to talk a little bit about, actually, before I talk about this, we'll skip down this one. I think this is more of a transition. Talking about people who look at folks and judge a certain kind of way or all this kind of business. So we had a situation yesterday. We went out to dinner with some friends. Shout out to the Powells. We had a good time with them despite. But made a reservation at a restaurant. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and drop them. I'm going to drop the name. So we went to the Ocean Air. So, anyways, went to a restaurant and made a reservation. And, nowhere on the website did it say it was a dress code, right? When I made the reservation, and I've made reservations at places that have dress codes, and they typically remind you on the reservation, hey, the attire for this XYZ place is whatever. Let's say you make a reservation at Mr. Chow's, they will remind you the dress here is smart casual or business. So you need to wear a collared shirt. You need to probably wear a suit. Shorts won't fly. Even when we was in Cozumel, there was a French restaurant there. You couldn't wear shorts inside. You had to wear pants. They made it very clear what the standard was. I have a problem with dress codes. One, that doesn't make a clear standard, and two, they leave a lot of it up for interpretation, right? And that all that power is given to a person. So we were told we had to sit at the diner. We couldn't sit in the main dining. We had to go sit at the bar because they didn't like the way we were dressed. And to describe what I had on a t-shirt. I had on some pants, just regular pants. I had on some tennis shoes. Had on a watch, some glasses. I need glasses to see. My wife, Katrina, has on a nice blouse. Got on some nice little heels. She got her wash and go looking real cute to me. It's date night. We don't do that all the time. But we was doing that night. You know what I'm saying? Last night, right? Date night, shorty looking bad. You know what I'm saying? Got on some jeans. They got little rips just around the kneecaps. That's a real popular thing in trendy fashion, right? So when we walk to the restaurant, there's no hello or hello, good evening, blah, 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 blah. Just, oh, wait a minute. The dude's hand, mind you, he's a brother. Hands is up. Hey, wait a minute. Hold up. Hold up. You have a reservation here? Like, dang, how about hello? And I had to address this. You could have said hello. You could have said afternoon. Hi. Hey, do you have a reservation tonight? Now let me make you aware to. But no, it's just, you're policing me. Hey, hold up. Wait a minute. Wait. Hey, pass. Wait. This is just not acceptable. Meanwhile, I'm looking at the restaurant. You got a Bama wearing flip-flops and shorts. So I'm like, come on, like, you're not gonna don't play me like that. Let's be real here. Let's come on. Let's be adult. Pause. Let's be adults and let's have a conversation, right? And I think with dress codes, we have to make it simple and make it clear and take the interpretive nature out of it, right? If it's going to be business, just say it's business, but don't tell me you have all these things listed out, not on the restaurant portal. Not on the place where you place your reservation, but you wait till I get down to the restaurant, and the only suggestion you got from me is, well, she could go over to TJ Maxx and buy some pants. What? My reservation in 3 minutes. We don't got time to go get pants.
That was crazy. I was a little even more dressier than you were.
Yeah, I was like, literally, I had on a yellow t-shirt, some blue pants,
Some jeans.
Some like, well, they're like pants. They weren't jeans.
Okay, and tennis shoes. But I was,
literally tennis shoes. I was
New
New Balances.
dressier than you were, but I was considered
heels, all that.
out of bounds.
Nails done, hair done, everything done. Swiss beats on them.
Well, no, hair wasn't done, but I mean, it was
it was a good washer
state.
girl. Yeah, I like the shirt. Hair looked done to me, right? So all of that, and it's like nah. And then our guest gets there. And like before he said anything to him, he's like, and, yo, shout out to my boy. He like, yo, he didn't even say that to him. He's just like harassing. He's like, yeah, like as soon as he walk in the door, he's like, yeah, because like what he's got on right there, that's not gonna work. Mind you, my boy flying too. He literally got on like a chain. He got on a New York Yankees jersey. That's baseball. I can see like the football jerseys, the baseball jerseys. The basketball jerseys, but he got on a baseball jersey. New York Knicks. Clean little outfit too. Nice jeans, cool little chucks. And it's Saturday. People tend to dress down on Saturday. Like
either you're going to be business appropriate or you're not. I think the in between is foolish. And I also think it's foolish from a business standpoint because it's COVID. So I'm 100% certain you have not made the kind of money. Your margins are probably not matching what they were prior to COVID. So you would think with COVID they would be a little lax. But at the end of the day, you're a business. And if you are a business, which impresses me, is money. I don't care if you Asian, Indian, black, LGBTQ, or white, a man, a woman. Money is money. And because of that, I believe in zero discrimination whatsoever. I don't care how you look, how you dress. I want you to come in and have a good time. And if it means you coming in and you wearing something that I wouldn't think is appropriate, that ain't none of my business. Because you patronizing my establishment. When you are a business, you, in my opinion, do yourself a disservice to have any kind of enforcement about how someone should be or look. You should be complimentary to whomever got the money to pay to patronize your business. It's about customer service.
And if you're going to set a standard. Don't make it this, well, my interpretation of what you have on is not nice enough. Because what we see is they say no baggy jeans was one of the things listed. They said no tank tops. But then what's the difference between a tank top and a spaghetti strap?
Or a dress that's revealing.
Or like, shoot, there was some girls in there dressed like IG models. I'm talking about, and when I talked to the manager that night, I made it clear, like, he made a comment about Katrina's jeans and said, well, we don't want any excessive revealing clothing. Hold up. Slim is covered from head to toe. She got a little bit of knee showing. You had on a blouse that covered up your top. Ain't like you had your breast out or nothing like that. Meanwhile, we got girls walking right in front of us, all kind of TNA hanging out. And it's like, and I'm looking at dude like, you can't be serious. Like, you see what's going in and out of here. Like, you're not gonna tell me that. So
dead serious.
So it is interesting, and then keep in mind, you guys can go look up the Ocean Air, but it's not a cheap restaurant by any means.
It's okay. It's our first and last time going.
Oh, definitely. Like, I won't spend any money there again. Not when there's other restaurants out there. Shout out to Cooper's Hawk, where the prices are better. And the food quality was better, in my opinion.
You can wear what you want.
And you can wear what you want. Ain't nobody pressing me on what I got on.
And I think there's something to be said that if you work in corporate America and you're always dressing up, you look forward to the weekends where you have the opportunity to wear what you want. First of all, we're in a pandemic, so we're not dressing up regularly. But pre-pandemic, people were getting up, wearing business clothes, 9 to 5 every single day. And after a while, you get tired of being stuffy. When you're on the weekend, especially being a black person, you want to be able to use black colloquialism. You want to be able to wear your hair how you want. You want to be able to be for the culture because that's our opportunity on the weekends to be ourselves. And to be policed about that is disheartening. I don't want to go and be stuffy and pretend like I'm in some kind of business aura environment. There are times, and my thing is, who made this rule up? Because at the end of the day, when you're conducting business, you can still conduct business regardless of what you're wearing. No?
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I wouldn't go to a business meeting when revealing clothes, but what I'm saying is I can still sign my name on a contract whether I have on a suit or not.
Well, I think when you're in the place of conducting business, once again, there's nothing wrong with having a dress code, but take the private interpretation out of it. See, when you start saying, if you don't want jeans in your establishment, just say no jeans.
Yeah.
Say it's business casual. Therefore, you already know that means slacks, that means khakis, that means blazers, that means polos, that means Oxford shirts, right? There's There's nothing wrong with having a business standard. Certain jobs are going to require you to dress a certain kind of way. The military has a uniform. Police officers have a uniform. Firefighters have a uniform. So even in blue collar, most blue collar jobs have a uniform. Even if you work in a factory, they have a uniform. They'll tell you, no, you need to wear jeans because you need to wear material that will keep you from being scarred or scratched up by the machinery, right? There's going to be dress codes in different areas. But when I'm a consumer, that's when we should consider dropping these codes, because when I'm trying to consume a product, especially if I'm just entering an establishment or if I'm trying to spend money with you, then at that point, what's your real goal? If your goal is to make money, let folks in, because the deterrent will be the price. Guess what? The Walmart crowd, as they call it, when you see these memes and all this stuff about what people wear at Walmart at 12 in the morning, if you want to keep that crowd out of your establishment, raise the price. Because guess what? Those folks ain't going to pay $60 for a New York strip. Congratulations, you kept the broke people out. Or the folks who are not going to broke. But if they got the money to come there, I don't care if they got on jeans, if they're wearing a chain, if they got on flip-flops, if they got on torn shorts. Shoot, they got the money to walk up there and let them in. Because guess what? If I was Chris Brown, if she was Rihanna, you wouldn't care if Slim had on pajamas. You would still let her eat right there in the middle, and you would bring bottles out with sparklers on it because you're happy to see them patronizing your business. Get the money.
Okay, what were the comments here?
Oh, okay. So Herman made a good point. He said embedded in their supposed dress code, not user-friendly for black or brown folks. Yeah, because when they describe the dress code, they're describing typically things that pertain to the black community or the brown community, what we find cool and trendy at the moment. Herman said, first and last, Katrina, yeah, shout out to that. Shots fired, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let me hit them with the Mario death cart, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's the last time we lost that business. Then Nate said, well, sorry, this was Jasmine, but she was like, that's so right, very true. Shout out to Jasmine and Nate. Man, I'm finna drop a bomb for me.
Well, here's my thing, and then I'm done with it. I find it interesting, especially in the DMV area, where the underlying tone of a quote-unquote dress code for an establishment. And the reality is, in this DMV area, this is 7 of the wealthiest counties in the nation are here. So you should be very aware that there are black folks that can afford establishments as such. And we're not talking about white collar people. There are people who are blue collar workers in the DMV area that are making pretty good money. And so because of that, you should be very aware of your demographic and the margins. To me, it's like when I'm internalizing this kind of understanding or how people are moving about, it's like, how are you having a restaurant in the DMV area and not aware of the dollar that circulates in all communities here?
Yeah,
it's almost like ignorance, pure ignorance.
People driving the metro buses, busting 80 and 90 a year. I'm just saying, like,
so
security guards.
Yeah, so the average DMV person can afford a nice fancy restaurant. It's not a big deal, and even if they couldn't, it's not for you to, disbar them from an experience. You don't know if someone saved up hard-earned money over the pandemic to provide an experience or a nice dinner to their wife or significant other. It's not for you to take that away from them. What it is for you to do is to make them feel welcome, be friendly, provide great customer service so that people can consistently patronize your business. Not having the opposite experience where you would be on the verge of getting ridiculed and or shutting your business down, especially in this climate where we know race is a serious, critical race theory is a serious conversation at hand.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I just think, I had to talk about dress codes real quick. I just don't understand them when it comes to certain restaurants and establishments. Let people in. Even with clubs, it's kind of like, just make it what it is. Instead of trying to pick and choose what's hot, what's not.
Subjective.
Just like, listen, if you're going to let people come in and party and dance, let them party and dance. You want to make it an upscale spot, tell them, like, this is a business casual place. You have to have on a suit when you come up in here. Ladies have to wear an after 5 dress. Like, you can have a dress code, but when it becomes subjective, based off personal taste, that becomes a problem, because now at some point bias and prejudice will introduce itself into the making up the standard. Right? That's the problem with subjective dress codes. And laws, for that matter.
You should ask the question. Juan said he wondered if I was of a different hue, if I still would have had the same response. One has to wonder.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I wonder that because, like, there was a lot of people of color in the restaurant. It wasn't like only white people were being left in. Like, it was super, I would say 90% of the people in the restaurant were black. But I did notice that certain people dressed, certain designers, more flashier taste, if you will, in clothing. Gucci, Louis Vuitton t-shirts, whatever. The cast is wearing the Christian Louboutins, you know, to the restaurant. I don't think Ocean Air is something for me to dress up for like that I'm going to be dressed like that. You know what I'm saying? I need $1,000 tennis shoes just to sit in the dining room. I mean, the meal is expensive enough. But, yeah, I did notice that certain girls that looked a certain kind of way, certain guys that kind of carried it a certain kind of way, they weren't meeting said dress code, but they were in there. And, shoot, all you have to do is look at the tagged, the Ocean Air. And if you look at people who have tagged themselves to the restaurant, they don't fit the dress code that they were claiming to have. So I just thought that was interesting and worth bringing up. Just, you know, they're gonna still get a letter to corporate on Monday. So that's that. So anyways, moving along to dress. I mean, just had to bring up dress codes. And then my last comment, and then we'll close out on this.
Yeah.
You bring this up all the time, so I wanted to bring it up on the show since we was kind of doing like a hodgepodge night. But I gotta ask the question, everyone, because this is something that we were talking about earlier. Is Hollywood running out of ideas?
Yes.
Are they just bored over there? Are the writers just lazy? I thought the writers, strike was over, but I can't tell because they are remaking House Party. They've remade Ghostbusters. They're redoing He-Man, right? They keep on.
I'm saying it publicly because I feel I'm talented. Hollywood they're not lazy. You guys don't have any fresh ideas. And the problem is that the same people have been controlling the narrative for so long. Cut down your bias, get fresh new people and new young talent who you can pay less money to come and bring new ideas. Tyler Perry is another one. He needs not be the main person making all the decisions in the writer's room and how things should look. You need fresh talent. Those wigs are tired. The storylines are tired. There are fresh talent. It don't even got to be black, but there's fresh talent out there who will provide new, creative, innovative ideas. I don't want to see Jurassic Park 6 times. I don't want to see House Party redone. I don't want to see the redo of Lion King, which was the same exact movie.
Same exact movie, just like, I mean, can you just give me a different princess stories? I mean, that's what y'all do, right? You can't think of a different princess
Give me something new.
Talk about, possibly?
What movie would you, out of all the movies I've seen in the past 5 years, to me, the first movie in a long time that was fresh, creative, I hadn't seen anything out of it, was Get Out.
Get Out was
one. It was so different.
I can name some. I can name a few shows that seem original to me, right?
Shows or movies, or both.
Movies, a little bit. Shows and movies, right?
What's the one we like with the one that didn't get renewed that we love?
Yeah, well, I was about to get to that. So Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
Watchmen. That was good, and those are based off books or in this case or comics, right? But give me something fresh. I liked other movies. Tenet was good. There's a couple other movies that were like original ideas. It's like, oh wow, we've never seen that before. But it's like they're redoing Dune, and I mean it's kind of cool because like, oh yeah, you get to see that movie. Maybe get its just due with the technology we have out now. But then technology is always going to improve. So what? Every 40 years we're going to redo the same movies again. There's some different ideas you can do that haven't been done. Like for instance. One thing Hollywood is seriously lacking is stories based in ancient Africa.
Yes.
With an actual black cast. That's something that Hollywood could super cash in on. If you did Game of Thrones, basically, but the African version, based on black pharaohs, maybe you could talk about how the kingdom of Kemet was literally driven out of Nubia, going north from the south, because everybody knows all the riches really were South Kingdom. Right? Because the river flows up north. So then you see the kingdom expand down, not because they were naturally wanted to go along the river, but also because the Nubian kingdoms south, that we call Sudan and all that now, drove those kingdoms down. How about we do a story around that? Why can't y'all finally just greenlight the Mansa Musa project that you kind of do get done and make that story? There are some great stories about Nefertiti and all these great Nubian or African kingdoms that we never lend the big screen to.
But you know what? Part of the problem is
that's a new storyline.
Part of the problem is that we don't finance it though, because when you think about those Asian empire stories and Chinese culture and Japanese culture, every time you see these movies, what did it always say? Production in China,
Shaw Brothers,
production in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
They don't look to Hollywood to greenlight them. They do it themselves.
And shout out to Asians that control their media and their narratives, because Shaw Brothers, to name them, I think it's Horizon Group. There's another one out there. They control their product and they get to control their identity. So Hollywood, put your money where your mouth is. Some of you think about like a movie, like prime example, because we watched House Party earlier. House Party, the first one, it took only $2.5 million to make. Not great, that's not the greatest movie. It didn't win a bunch of awards, but however, in the box office, it did make $25 million. Mm-hmm. Right? So that means it made back basically 10 times the investment. Mm-hmm. Imagine if someone like a Jay-Z or 50 Cent versus them getting like someone else's money. Antoine Fuqua, Denzel Washington, you name it. What if they just took their own money, a lot like what Nate Parker did when he did Birth of a Nation, trying to take ownership of that history of that film, if you ever studied it. He put his own money up and made an excellent film. Now, like we know it got snubbed for Oscars and all that, but the movie did do well, and it made money at the end of the day. Why can't we just bet on ourselves and say, you know what? Warner doesn't want to give me the money. Lionsgate doesn't want to give me the money. Fox doesn't want to give me the money. Century, Marvel won't do the movie. Okay, whoever, whatever. Put your own money up and make something epic, but make something new. I don't know if we need another hood story. I mean, shout out to 50 Cent. He found his lane in Stars. You know, he's got the whole Power universe, and now he's doing BMF. But do I need that story again, the drug kingpin story? Not really.
I want to see a regular story about middle-class black people and what they go through, because there are lots of them.
Or you can make it interesting like they did in Lovecraft Country. Give me, basically, which was Indiana Jones, but told through the black lens.
Yeah.
Because guess what? The show was amazing. It won. It's going to win so many awards. Everybody raved about it, and then for some reason HBO didn't renew it.
Wasn't that Jordan Peele?
No, Jordan Peele wasn't involved with Lovecraft Country, but it was amazing. And the same thing goes for Watchmen, amazing, and you didn't renew it. And they had this great backdrop telling the story of Tulsa, but it was fictional. It was interesting. It had the black story, but it got to be science fiction first, right? Obviously, based off the reviews and all the people that tuned into it, the money was there, and these are great shows to bring up because they were amazing, and you still didn't renew them. The money was there, people watched it, subscriptions went up, all the different things that you tally to say if the show's worth it, it met every mark and surpassed it, and they still didn't renew it. So I just wonder, Hollywood, are you guys bored? And then they got these franchises they keep renewing that make no sense. I'm sorry. I don't know what Fast and Furious is, but last time I checked, they was just racing in LA, and now these dudes basically have superpowers. Like they're pulling in the whole helicopters.
We don't need to see no more Fast and Furious.
I mean, they're gonna make another one because they already got Fast and Furious 10. That's guaranteed.
Just give us something different. I don't know, something different, and I just feel like, in general, here's where I'll stop and this is where I'll close. In general, as black people, we need to be intentional about what we are investing in. And when I say investing, I'm not saying just money, what we're giving our attention to, what we are patronizing, what we are buying. For example, when Beyonce wore the Telefaro bag, it sold out everywhere. It's still sold out. That's a black designer. And it's amazing to me how it just took her wearing it to give him that much publicity to make his bag. But prior to that, we were still patronizing the Gucci, the Louis Vuitton. Why not patronize what is rightfully yours? You know?
Yeah. I mean, it is. Read that one comment on IG. Somebody had posted.
Oh, it's Stacy. She said, Lovecraft Country in this country. Lovecraft Country in this conversation. Lovecraft had the same creator as Underground, which also wasn't renewed. Oh, I didn't know that. Underground was great.
Underground was good too. They didn't renew it, so it's just. Once again, Hollywood, are you America? Hollywood, are y'all bored? I'm just curious. Are y'all bored? Anyways, that's the show. Look, I got some shout outs. Want to first shout out DC Shop Pie again. If you're in the DMV area, go check them out. Amazing pizza. Shout out to Block Party Gaming in G5. They're doing some really dope stuff. If you're getting into the role player scenarios, they've created their own world out of GTA. Go check out Block Party Gaming. Any gamers out there, just find out, or someone who's like, you're like a coding geek and you just find that stuff interesting, you should really check them out. They got a really dope world over there. A lot of people who are streamers and Twitch and all that in the gaming community. Really dope. Shout out to that group over there. Also, want to make a special shout out to my mama, Mamie Denise. She had surgery this past Friday. Surgery went well. She had a triple bypass. Anybody who knows my mother, anybody who knows Mamie, or maybe you know her as Denise, whatever the case is, y'all always know she's always been a fighter, always a very strong. I was talking to Slim on Saturday. So shout out to her. Speedy recovery to you. Prayers is always going up for the family. We appreciate all the requests and all the love shown from all those that know us personally. Really do appreciate it. And she's doing great. If you were wondering about her. Coming from Herman, her husband, he said, yes, Denise is a warrior. She definitely is. She's a fighter and she's doing well. Also, I see Jasmine on the Jasmine. I see you on the live. Shout out to your father. Shout out to Eugene. Jasmine, I'm sorry. I know your last name is Altar now, but what's your maiden name? I couldn't think of it for nothing when I was putting it in the notes. But I know it's your father's birthday. He looks good. Eugene looked great for his age. He looked like he's 39, maybe 35. You know what I'm saying? He got good skin. You know what I'm saying? That black don't crack over there. But yeah, shout out to Eugene. I know his birthday just passed, or it was this weekend. Minor. That's right. I know that. Jasmine Minor. Duh. I knew that. Yeah, so shout out to Eugene Minor. I'm sorry, I just couldn't think of the last name for nothing, Jasmine. Charge it to my my head, not my heart, my heart, boo. But I thought to say happy birthday. Other birthdays to shout out. Shout out to Kenya Small. Shout out to Ralph Coates. Shout out to Javin Parchman. Shout out to Don DeCosta, Terry James, Curtis Esco, Bill Thompson, Hassan McRae, Mark Harris, and also Jasmine Altar, whose birthday is coming up. As a matter of fact, can you hit us with a little happy birthday? If I put you on the spot real quick, you want to sing a little happy birthday for us? Are you in the mood? Are you in the mood? If you're not in the mood, it's cool.
Juan got me out here with no makeup on today, y'all. A wash and go.
And you look beautiful.
And he's trying to get me to sing. I didn't even feel like doing the Nitty Gritty show. He always trying to make me do. I be trying to really enjoy my weekends, y'all, because I be pressed at work. Okay.
Did you want to sing happy birthday? Not really.
Fine. I'll sing a line or two.
Okay.
Who am I singing happy birthday to? Just all the people?
There's all the people, but if you want to say anything to someone in particular, say it to Jasmine and Eugene, because you know they family.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear everybody. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, see? Don't y'all like it when Katrina sing? We're going to have Katrina singing more often on the show. That's what we're going to do. We're going to start incorporating more singing of Katrina in the show. We're going to have to do like a little, even if it's a little quick little do that. You know what I'm saying? Something. I love it. Also, man, I thought I had like one more shout out. Oh, DC history. So today was the opening day. It was like 1950 something. I forgot the date. When the hot dog spot.
Thanks, Stacy. She said beautiful. So
what's the hot dog spot in DC? Like I can't even think the name of it.
Ben's Chili Bowl?
Yeah, Ben's Chili Bowl. There it goes. Today was the inaugural day of Ben's Chili Bowl. Also today is Chuck Brown's birthday, the godfather of go-go music. So some little DC history for y'all on today. Look, everybody talking about she sang. Let's drop a bomb. Yeah. Let's drop a bomb for our girl real quick. Let me do a little crowd cheer. Little crowd cheer. Little quick bass drop. You know what I'm saying? All of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, had to do that. So anyways, let's turn the music up again. We about to get up out of here. So those were our shout outs. Oh, anniversary shout outs. Brian and Keith Mahone, 22 years. Cole and Brenda Bennett also celebrating their anniversary over this past week. Look, once again, we thank you guys for tuning in. Gotta pay those bills. Y'all seen the Cash App in the corner. donate to the program. It could be $1, 50 cents. Some of y'all, they got them deep pockets, $1,000 will take it. You know what I'm saying? That's a write-off, I believe, charitable giving at that point. Donate. Also, get yourself some Nitty Gritty swag. We have, if you go to www.squadlocker.com, and if you put in the search, The Nitty Gritty Show, whole thing like a Tribe Called Quest, The Nitty Gritty Show, get yourself some swag. We got Under Armour, we got Adidas, we got Rydell. We got some dope stuff on their hats. Get some Nitty Gritty swag. Take a picture of it. Hashtag The Nitty Gritty Show, at The Nitty Gritty Show. Whether it's on IG, YouTube, or Facebook, we'll love to repost you. You know, do that. Matter of fact, how about everybody go get a Nitty Gritty shirt? And since y'all already doing challenges, you can do the crate challenge wearing some Nitty Gritty swag. How that sound? I got anybody else there?
Thanks, Mama Jan and Stacey, for supporting. We appreciate it.
Yeah, so anyways, look, once again, thank you guys. It's your boy, Jay DeCosta.
It's Katniss.
And together we are
The Nitty Gritty.
Look, we out of here. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.